Good morning, grade 12s. Welcome to the webinar for the Afrikaans first additional language. I just want to give 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that everyone is attending that would like to attend this webinar. Please use this time to familiarize yourself with the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. You will see that there's a section where you can ask questions, there is a section where you can put up your hand, and there's also a handout section. That's very important. So this PowerPoint that I'm presenting today is already uploaded at your handout section. Please make sure that you download that handout because it's only available during this session. It will expire afterwards. So we will make it available, but just get it now. It's easier that way, and you have time to do that. So I'm giving it 2 to 3 minutes for everyone to join, and then I will see you later. Good morning, grade 12s. You are now logged into the webinar for Afrikaans EAT. I see there are still attendees joining this webinar. I'm just going to give another minute for them to join. Just make sure that you download the handout in the control panel on your right-hand side on your screen. And also just familiarize yourself with this control panel where you ask questions and where you can find the handout. Also, you will see there's a little hand icon on your control panel, that we like to use that just to make sure that you are still in the session and you are still participating and understanding where I am with the lesson. I will ask you to put up your hand. Just test that out for now. Just make sure that you know where that is, and then I think let's give it 30 seconds. I'm going to give it 30 seconds, and then we'll start. Morning, grade 12s. I don't see a lot of people joining, so I think let's get started. Okay. Just want to go through the ins and outs with you before we start. Just make sure that we know everything we need to know. Okay. Just to recap, you are now at the grade 12 Afrikaans EAT webinar. Okay. Okay, I'm Carla Lamprecht and I'm the Education Specialist for Afrikaans at Impact. I also have an organizer with me this morning. She's in the background. You won't be able to see her. Her name is Surina Jordan. She's just helping me with some of the admin in the background that you don't know of. And also, should this session be disrupted or it drops for whatever reason, she will pop onto your screen, so don't get a fright if you see her. She will just explain to you what we'll do from there on. Okay, then let's just go through some basics before we get started. If you are struggling to hear me, please make sure that your audio is on and that your speaker's volume is turned up. Whatever device you are using, whether it's your iPhone or your iPad or a laptop, make sure that the volume on that device is turned up. Okay, you are automatically muted when you are joining this session. The reason for that is so that we don't hear everyone's background noises and dogs barking and stuff like that. Then if you have a question, you will see that there's a question box on that control panel. Please type your question in there for me. I'm not going to answer any questions during the session. I feel it will you waste a lot of time if you do that, but I will answer your questions afterwards. There will be some time left that will have opportunity to do those questions. So don't type your question and think that I'm not answering you. Still type it, I will answer it afterwards. Okay, then you will see there is a hand icon on your control panel. Can I ask everyone to please click on that hand so that I know you know where it is and that I know that you are with me. Okay, I see most of you know what's going on. Okay. Okay, perfect. Yes, I see most of you have put up your hands, so I'm comfortable with it. Okay, then this presentation that I'm giving today is also available for you to download. The PowerPoint presentation is in PDF format in the handout section on your control panel. Remember that I said that this handout is only available for the duration of this webinar and we'll give a minute or two afterwards. So please use this time. If you have not downloaded that handout, please do that now, or if you don't have time now, you're scared that you might fall behind, please make sure that you download it during the questions that we do at the end of the session. And I would also like to ask you to remember to submit your questions. Don't think that I'm not going to answer it. I will see it afterwards, and even if we run out of time and I don't see your questions, my organizer, Surina Jordan, will download all of those questions for me to answer it at a later stage. So you will get an answer. Okay, then I think we can get started. Okay, since this lockdown is going into term 2, we decided to start doing term 2's work with you to make sure that you are on track. Okay, and we are starting with the literature. I'm starting with Poësie, and I'm starting with the first gedig that you have in your book, Skoolseun Blues deur Johan van Wyk. Okay. And the first thing I want us to look at is what you need to look for in a poem. Okay. The first thing is stylfigure, that is your poetic devices. Then it is beeldspraak, that's imagery. Then it is innerlike en uiterlike bou, that's your internal and external structure of a poem. I'm not going to do the internal and external structure with you today. I feel like it's something that most of you are comfortable with, and I don't think we'll have time to do all 4 of these. If you're not comfortable with the internal and external structure of a poem, I want to ask you to please go back to your study guide and just go through them again and make sure that you know what's going on there. Okay, let's just run through. Remember, this is not all the stylfigure and beeldspraak. I'm just covering the most common ones. Okay, die eerste een is alliterasie. Dit is die herhaling van konsonante, the consonants. Alles behalwe, everything except for the letters A, E, I, O, and U. Okay, an example of this is Die son sak stadig oor die see. Can you hear that I am repeating the letter S? That repetition means that we are busy with alliteration. Okay, the next one is assonantie. Okay, that is the repetition of vocale, of vowels. That is the letters A, E, I, O, and U. An example of this is no, so, die pou, nie langer pou. Okay, can you hear that O, 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 O? Remember that assonantie and alliteration is also about the sound of something. If I wrote you an example and I said, gaan sê goodbye vir Sakai. Goodbye of goodbye has an A-I spelling, but Sakai only has an A and an I. So the spelling is different, but it sounds the same. That is still assonantie. Dan 'n hyperbool, dit is as jy oordryf, that is when you exaggerate. That is, for example, when someone says, ek het jou al 'n miljoen keer gevra. Someone didn't actually ask you a million times. It was impossible for them to count how many times they had asked you, but they were just saying that they have asked you a lot. Okay. Dan in versie. Dit is wanneer jy die natuurlike woordorde van 'n sin verander. That is when you change the natural word order of a sentence. There's two reasons why people do this. The first reason is it's so that that verse fits into the rest of the poem's structure, rhythm or rhyme. Okay, and they also do this to emphasize a certain word. An example of this is maar vergeet my nooit. The natural word order for the sentence would be moet my nooit vergeet nie. But they have changed it now, probably to fit into the rhyme or the rhythm of the poem. Okay, then repetitie. That is the repetition of words or stanzas or verses. The reason they use this is to emphasize something. Okay. Then a euphemism, that is something you use when you want to say something in a more acceptable, softer way. That's like saying, instead of saying that someone is a thief or they steal, you would say that hulle het lang vingers, they have long fingers. Okay. Instead of saying that someone is pregnant, saying it straightforward like that, and you want to do it a bit more subtle, you would say that she finds herself in quite an uncomfortable situation or position. Okay. Then a rhetoriese vraag. That is a question where you don't expect an answer back. Jy verwag nie 'n antwoord nie. That is like saying, wat het jy gedink gaan pa sê as jy vir hom jok? Meaning, what did you think Dad was going to do if you lied into his face? You don't really expect an answer. That is a rhetoriese vraag. Dan beeldspraak. Die eerste een is 'n metafoor. Dit is wanneer jy iets direk met mekaar vergelyk. That is when you compare something to each other directly. The magic word here is the word is. That's when you say, jy is my sonskyn, my lewe is 'n donderstorm. You are not literally someone's sunshine. You are not your life is not literally a thunderstorm. Fine. The magic word to remember is. Then you get a vergelyking. A vergelyking is when you compare two things with each other, but not directly. Okay? That is, the magic words here would be soos of nes. Okay? Jy is nes 'n sonstraal, of my lewe is soos 'n donderstorm. Then personification. I feel like you are comfortable with this, but let's just run through it. That is when you give a non-human object or thing a human characteristic. Om 'n menslike eienskap aan 'n nie-menslike voorwerp te gee. That is like saying, die son glimlag vir my. The sun cannot actually smile. That is personification. Another example is when you say, die kar is weer kwaad vanoggend. This is something you would say when you wake up in the morning and you're trying to start the car and it's making a horrible noise and it's struggling, and you would say, oh, hierdie kar sukkel, of hierdie kar is weer kwaad vanoggend. Kwaad is a human emotion. A car cannot have a human emotion, therefore it is personification. Klanknabootsing of onomatopoeia. That is when you use sounds instead of words. Okay. That is when you say something like toot toot or zoom or brr for when it's cold. Then symbolic symbolism. That is when you use words or objects to explain something else. Okay. That is when you, for example, say when you talk about a wit dove, a white dove, that white dove represents the dead. Okay. Or how as a red rose would represent love. Or if you speak about the zonsopkomst, the sunrise, it might represent a new beginning of your life, a new chapter, or a new start to something. Okay. Now we're going to do the poem Skoolseun Blues by Johan van Wyk. I'm going to read it to you. Don't be overwhelmed when you hear words that you don't know the meaning to. I am going to explain those words to you. So don't be overwhelmed. Just listen. I'm going to read it very slowly. So sit back and listen to how I pronounce words as well. Okay. Skoolseun Blues, Johan van Wyk. Agter in die skoolbus het Jessie geleer hoe om te rook. Het sy gewys tot waar sy beenhare skeer. Agter in die skoolbus het sy geleer om 'n seun te vry, om tekens te wys. Het sy 'n ballpoint punt hart geteken met die naam van haar onnie. Jessie, Jessie, my stem is gebreek en ek het nog nooit gerook of met die tong gesoen nie. Sy dans met getroude mans in die Katolieke kerk. Op Sondag sit sy in 'n sportmotor by die park. Sy het 'n ou in die army, sy het 'n ou op Henneman. Sy draai die onnie om haar pinkie. Ma sê Jessie het niks tussen haar ore nie. Dan kyk ma in haar spieeltjie. Jessie, Jessie, my stem is gebreek en ek het nog nooit gerook of met die tong gesoen nie. Okay. Just going to explain some words to you before we start. I want to make sure that you know the meaning of the words. Okay. Sy het geleer om 'n seun te vry. Vry in Afrikaans is 'n French kiss. Okay. Verse 8 says, met die naam van haar onnie. Onnie is 'n verkorting vir die woord onderwyser. So you're shortening the word onderwyser and you call them 'n onnie. Okay, Jessie, Jessie, my stem is gebreek. Wanneer jou stem breek, it means that your voice broke. That is, it's a sign of puberty. Ek het nog nooit gerook of met die tong gesoen nie. Tong is tang, gesoen is kies, so that is again a French kiss. Getroude mans, that is married men. Army, I'm sure you know what the word army means. The correct Afrikaans word for army is weermag. Henneman, that is a small town in the Free State. And a spieeltjie is a small mirror. And you will see that strophe 4, stanza 4, and stanza 2 is the same thing. So I'm not going to go through that again. Okay, now let's start with the discussion. Skoolseun Blues. Let's look at the title first. Die woord blues in die titel verwys na 'n genre van musiek. So, when someone says they are listening to blues, it's a genre of music. And it was listened to and actually produced by African Americans in America I think it was 18, what I wrote it here somewhere. Yeah, in the year 1870s, around there. And it was a way of them it was a very depressed tone, so that kind of music, because they were in such a struggle in that time. So it had a depressed tone, that genre of music. And then you will see that this poem, with stanza 2 and 4 repeating, it's almost like a song that has a chorus that repeats. So this just adds to the title that says Squilcian Blues. Blues is a genre of music, and also that the structure of this poem also makes you think of a song with the chorus. And the rhythm of the poem is quite common. Yeah, that I discussed with you. Okay, dan die spreker. I want you to remember something. There is a difference between a dichter, a poet, and the spreker. I'm gonna explain to you why. If I had to write a poem about a 5-year-old girl busy in the forest looking for leaves and fairies and looking for flowers, I'm the poet, but I'm not the spreker. Okay, if I write a poet from a 5-year-old girl's perspective, that is the spreker. Okay, it's something to keep in mind. It's two different things. Okay, and not everyone writes a poem about themselves. They write a poem from when they were 5 years old, or about their parents' dog or whoever. Okay. Die spreker is die skoolseun. That is who's speaking in this poem. It is the schoolboy. Okay. He is younger than Jesse. The reason he says that is that he says that his voice has already broken. He has reached puberty now. He is now big. Okay. So this poem is written out of his perspective. He can relate to Jessie. Jessie is a girl. I hope that you picked up on that. He can relate to Jessie because she is the personification of freedom, en sy volg nie reëls nie. She doesn't follow rules. Die spreker, the boy, is from a more conservative house as Jessie. Jessie is a bit more liberal. In the poem, the boy's mom says that Jessie het niks tussen haar ore nie. That means that she's dumb. She says that she has nothing in between her ears. So the opinion that Jessie's mom has the boy's mom has of Jessie is not very good. Die ma se lewensuitkyk frustreer die seun omdat hy voel dit hou hom gevangene. The mom's view about life is frustrating the boy because he feels like he is a prisoner to his mom's view of life and the world. And even though he knows that his mom does not approve of the behavior of Jessie, he would still like to enjoy the same kind of freedom that Jessie does. And he's sad that he does not have that kind of freedom and opportunity for experiences as Jessie has. Okay, now let's start going through this poem stanza by stanza. Okay, Stroof, let's just first wait. Can you just put up your hand so we can see who is still with me? Let me just quickly have a look here. Yeah, when you put your hand up and there's a red line through that hand, or the hand looks more like this, no, like that. If there's a red line through your hand, it means that your hand is up. If you click on it again, it will go down. Just want to make sure, I just want to see who's here. Everyone can just put up their hands for me. Okay. Okay. Seems like most of you are with us. Okay. Strofe 1. Agter in die skoolbus het Jessie geleer hoe om te rook. Het sy gewys tot waar sy beenhare skeer. Agter in die skoolbus het sy geleer om 'n seun te vry, om tekens te wys. Het sy 'n ballpoint punt hart geteken met die naam van haar onnie. Reël 1, verse 1. Jessie word vir die eerste keer aangespreek. It is the first time they speak about Jessie, and it's very quickly, somewhere in the first verse, they speak about Jessie. Okay. And when they say agter in die skoolbus, it just again says to us that she is still a teenager. Okay. Because she's in the school bus. Reël 2 tot 3, verse 2 to 3. Hoe om te rook? That means that she doesn't follow rules. En sy het gewys tot waar sy beenhare skeer. That means that she showed people to where she shaves her legs. That means that she might have been a bit promiscuous, losbandig. Okay. Then reël 4, verse 4. Agter in die skoolbus, can you see that they are repeating what is said in verse 1? The reason they do that is to just emphasize that this girl is actually just a teenager. She is in a school bus. She is a teenager, but she is smoking and she's very promiscuous. Reël 5 tot 6. Het sy geleer om 'n seun te vry, om tekens te wys. That's where she learned how to French kiss a boy and to show signs. Om tekens te wys beteken to show signs. This might be vulgar signs that she showed to cars driving past the bus from the window. And then verse 7 to 8. Het sy 'n ballpoint punt hart geteken met die naam van haar onnie. A ballpoint punt hart. That's a type of pen. You know that you get a ballpoint pen. So that is what you usually do when you draw a heart of someone, a heart for someone. So she used that to draw a heart, and she wrote her teacher, her onnie's name at that heart. The fact that she wrote the onderwyser, the onnie's name at that heart, just shows how she feels about him. Dan strofe 2 en 4, remember they are repeating. 2 and 4 is the same, so I'm going to discuss it together. In reël 9 in verse 9, my, Jessie, my stem is gebreek. That my refers to the verteller, the person speaking in this poem, okay, the boy in this case. My stem is gebreek. Like I said, it shows that his voice is broken or broke, and it shows that he has now reached puberty. He is not a young kid anymore. He sees himself as very big now. Okay, reël 10 en 11. En ek het nog nooit gerook nie, of met die tong gesoen nie. It means that he has never smoked or has French kissed anyone. This is a sign of his innocence. But it could also be that he's asking her to teach him. Like he's old now, but he hasn't smoked it or he hasn't French kissed anyone yet. So he could be asking her to show him how to do these things. Okay, strofe 3. Sy dans met getroude mans in die katholieke kerk. Op Sondag sit sy in 'n sportmotor by die park. Sy het 'n ou in die army, sy het 'n ou op Henneman, sy draai die onnies om haar pinkie. Ma sê, Jessie het niks tussen haar ore nie, en dan kyk ma in haar speeltjie. Okay, verse 12 to 14. Die woorde getroude mans, sportmotor by die park, Oh, in the army shows that she likes older, more experienced men. Okay, because it's only older men that that's married, that has sports cars, and that goes to the army. Dan reël 17. Ag, ja. Ja. Sy draai die onie om haar pinky. That means that she has got the teacher wrapped around her finger. This means that this teacher does anything that she asks him. And also that it shows how good she is at manipulating older men. Okay, reël 18. It says, Ma sê Jessie het niks tussen haar ore nie. Can you see that the mum has tried to say that she thinks Jessie is dumb? She tried saying this very subtle and politely, if you can say something like that politely. And remember what I said, what do we call that? It's a euphemism. Okay, I'm trying to say something in a nicer way. Yeah, and she is offending Jessie. Okay, dan reël 19. This is very important. In literature, there's a lot of ways to interpret how something is meant in a poem. And in any way you see it, it's 100% fine as long as you can substantiate or give a reason why you say that it was meant in this way. And verse 19 is a very good example of this. Okay, because it says, dan kyk ma in haar speeltjie. It means that after the mom said that Jessie is dumb, she looked in the mirror. Now, we don't know where they are. It could be that the mom is looking in the mirror back at herself because she feels like Jessie might be a younger version of herself. Maybe she was the way Jessie was when she was younger. Or it could be that she's driving in the car and looking in her mirror back at her son to see what his reaction is when she is busy offending Jessie, because this would tell her how her son feels about this bad girl. Or it could be that she's looking in the mirror to fix her hair or to fix her makeup, which would make this very ironic. Because she's speaking about how Jessie is done, probably because Jessie is so worried about pleasing men and having this type of image. But yet the mum is looking in the mirror at herself, which means that she's maybe a bit vain, and she herself is also more worried about her appearance because she doesn't have confidence in her intelligence. So there are 3 different ways in which you can see this, and any one of them could be correct if you can explain why. Okay. That was a lot. Any questions? I'm not going to unmute you to give an opportunity to speak. I am going to go through the questions as you post them. I might miss a few questions, but don't be worried about that. If we don't have an opportunity, if I don't get to a point where I can answer all the questions, I will answer them afterwards. My organizer today, Serena Jordan, will download all the questions for me so that I can answer them afterwards. Okay, so don't be worried and don't think that I'm skipping you. Still send your questions, it will be answered. Okay, and I'm just, because some of you repeat questions, so I also just not to waste everyone's time, I just want to try and filter quickly in my head all the questions that you ask. So that we don't waste time. Just want to make it bigger, yeah, so that I can see. Now is the time to download the handouts if you have not done that yet. This whole presentation, the whole webinar that I did now will be available on YouTube for you. You will see that Serena Jordan, actually Marika Becker, will post the link to that YouTube video at your answer if you would like to download that. Otherwise, it will be sent to you. What do I want you to do? The YouTube videos might take a day or 2 before it's available because it needs to go through a few steps before we can upload uploaded to YouTube. Okay, let me see the questions. Sorry, if you can just give me 2 minutes. I just want to. Okay. Oh, I see that has been answered already. Yeah, I see some of you have asked for the YouTube link, and I see that Marika has posted it there for you. I cannot hear the audio. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you just have to check that you have everything on from your side and that I'm not muted on your side. Oh, wat is beenhare? That's your hair on your legs, like when you shave your legs. You joined late, and the poem that we did was School Seën Blues. No, Jessie is not the onderwyser. Jessie is not the teacher. Jessie is the teenage girl in the bus that smokes and that shows boys her legs and who has French kissed everyone, or not everyone, but she says that she has French kissed people. So she is the teenage girl on the bus that is very free. She has a lot of freedom. She doesn't follow rules. Yes, this is the only poem we are going to do today for the grade 12s. I will do another poem, not next week, then the week after that. Next week I'm going to send out notes for you. Please remember that all literature, all language, all transactional and creative writing that you've done, term 1 and 2, you need to know very, very well for your exam. And since you are in grade 12, it is expected of you to know all the language for Afrikaans. Okay. You're struggling to download the PDF. I've seen that some learners struggle to download the PDF. It's when you I think it's when you're on your phone, when you're watching it from an iPhone, for example. Please just send a mail to info@impact and just say, please send me the handout for Afrikaans Eat grade 12, and I will send that to you. Yes, there is a way for you to re-watch this later. This will be uploaded onto YouTube, and you will see that Marika Bakker has sent a link there. You will also find all of your other webinars on that YouTube link. Just subscribe to the Impact channel on YouTube, then you can see everything. It might take a day or two. How do you know if you have the correct answers? If you don't have the answers, you will have received a study guide and a facilitator's guide. So the study guide will have all the questions, and in the facilitator's guide, that is the book that your facilitator or teacher gets. The correct answers will be in that book. Did you say that the schoolboy felt frustrated with the mother? Yes, I did. It could be that he's frustrated because his mom is so conservative and he's not allowed to do anything. He doesn't get any freedom. So he's so frustrated because he sees Jessie and she doesn't follow rules and she has this freedom that he will not have because his mom is so set in her ways and is so conservative. So he's frustrated with her because he also wants experiences and freedom. Can you say that she is looking back in the mirror and she is the bus driver? So she is looking at Jessie when she said she's dumb. Yeah. I can't say no, but it's very unlikely. It's very unlikely, but I can't say no. It is possible. It is possible. But for her to be able to speak to her son, it means that he would have to be next to her because she won't scream it in a bus for everyone to hear because she's offending someone. And he's speaking about what she does at the back of the bus, maybe, agter in die schoolbus. So the son can't be at the back seeing what Jessie does and be in front where his mom says that she's dumb. That's why I'm saying that is unlikely. But I like the way you think. Thinking outside the box, that's what I want. Guys, I feel like I'm skipping some of your stuff. I will answer it afterwards. Is die verteller dieselfde as die spreker? Ja. So jy sê dat die skoolseun dalk gevoelens het vir Jessie en ook meer soos haar wil wees. Ja, hy wil definitief meer soos sy wees. The boy definitely wants to be more like Jessie because he envies her freedom. It might be that he's in love with her since he's actually he's like skimping, throwing hints that maybe she will teach him how to French kiss and to smoke. Maybe he's not that kind of child that would like to experiment with smoking, but maybe he's in love with her and is willing to smoke and be the cool kid in the hopes that she would like him back. Jordan. I want to go back now, but I think I'm going to lose everything here. I will, some of this I will answer. If you ask me to refer back to the PowerPoint, I think that I will answer afterwards because if I go back now, I'm going to lose all of this that I've organized here in front of me. Where can we get the links? You will see that my, so I just want to keep an eye on the time here. My organizer will post it here for you. Yeah, in the poem it says that Jessie is probably dating the teacher, yeah. Is it right to assume Jessie has no interest in the boy? Yes, we can assume that, and there's a reason why we can assume that, because Jessie is still young. The boy is still young because he's trying to convince her that he's big now. That means that she has an interest in older men. So the fact that that the boy's voice just broke could mean that he is still young. He's what 14, 15, 13, I don't know at what age your voice breaks. But it is likely that she would not be interested in him because he's still young and he's not in the army and he doesn't have a sports car and he isn't a married man. So it is possible. Is dit moontlik dat let me just see it out. Is dit moontlik dat Jessie se ouers dalk oorlede is en sy het nie die regte opvoeding gekry nie? Is it possible that Jessie's parents passed away and that she didn't have a very nice upbringing? It is very possible. You would know that people talk about daddy issues. It might be that she has daddy issues and she's looking for this father figure in older men because she didn't have a father growing up. It is very possible. Oh, guys, sorry, I skipped everything now. I need to go back. Sorry, this webinar is also very new for me. Hope I'm not Sorry guys, I think that I skipped a lot of you now, but you will be answered, don't worry. How do we get the notes that you'll send out next week? Oh, I'm actually not sure. I think it will be on the guided learning platform. I will make sure. I'll make sure and then I'll answer you who sent that. Oh, Danielle. I will make sure of that and then we'll make sure that you get that. When do we write our June exams for Afrikaans? We don't know if the lockdown is going to be extended, and there are people in conversation about whether we are going to write a June exam or if we're going to just skip it altogether. If we're going to write the June exam in the holidays. There is still a lot of debate about that. They have not decided yet, but I'm pretty sure that the president will give us an answer in regards to the lockdown this week. And then I think we'll have it, but when we know, you will know. We will definitely keep you updated about the June exam, so don't be too worried about that now, and we'll give you more than enough time to prepare for that. I think the best thing for you to do now is just to make sure that you don't fall behind. In language, it's especially important that you don't fall behind on your literature and your prescribed books that you have to read. Make sure that you are up to date with that, because if you fall behind on that, it's quite hard to catch up again. Okay. So I just want to check the time. I think we might have to end now. Okay, if you skip if it happens that we don't do the June exams, your SPAs will be calculated in a whole different way. Okay, so don't be worried about that. You won't be at any disadvantage if this happens. But we'll keep you updated. I don't want you to be worried about your June exams. We won't let you know on Monday that you are writing Afrikaans tomorrow, or any subject for that matter. I think we are done with the questions. I see that time is almost finished now. Just to recap with you, number one, make sure that you've downloaded the handouts. Number two, we will let you know and we'll send you the link for the YouTube video so you can see this entire presentation on the YouTube video. Number three, we'll let you know immediately what will happen with the June exams. Guys, and I think that's about it. Thank you so much for joining me for this webinar, and I hope that this calms you a bit in this very uncertain time that we find ourselves in. And please work hard and enjoy the rest of your webinars. I will send you notes for next week. I'll let you know where to find those notes. And then the week after, I will do another webinar. It will most likely be on literature again, another poem. Okay, guys, please keep safe and look after yourselves and work very hard. Bye-bye.